AF. If I can have a pledge allegiance. Absolutely.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Very much. And we have roll call, please.
Thank you. Commissioners Marchand,
Here.
Salwan, Ariola, Ding, Fugazi, Morwood,
Here.
Vice Chair Zuber,
Here.
Chair Craig Hensley.
Here.
Thank you. Ex officio members, do we have anyone on from Stamcog?
Yes, I'm here, Suze Wallen, Mayor of Modesto.
Thank you. SJCOG? SJRRC?
Good morning, Ken Baxter.
Caltrans? Great, thank you. We do have quorum.
Thank you very much. All right. Is there any quick comment on any non-agenda item? Anything online?
Seeing none online?
Is there anyone in the room that has comments on non-agenda item? Seeing none in the room, we will move to consent calendar. Are there any comments or corrections to anything on the consent calendar that a commission member would like to have pulled for more information? Anything from the audience? Hearing none, I will take a motion to approve the consent calendar. Motion for approval.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Roll call.
Thank you. We do have a quorum in person, no online, so we can't.
Okay,
I can do.
that's fine. Okay, thank you. Just need, we got the motions and all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? None reported. Any abstentions? None reported. All right, moving on. We might make it through that fairly quick. Okay. Yeah, really, we can go to item 5 on the regular calendar. And Ms. Smith, you have a presentation for us on
Yes.
Green Valley Construction Services.
Yes, good morning, Chair and Commissioners. Today I will be presenting the item for the Cabral Station upgrades. You should have a purple sheet in front of you for the dollar change. Here. Okay. There we go. Okay, so I'm excited to present this item regarding the Cabral Station upgrades. And the original painting that we have here and the carpeting is from 2003. The RFP was divided into 2 scopes, each addressing the needs for the station. That's right. So the first scope encompasses the non-public areas for painting, and it also includes painting of the main lobby, as well as updating the gold. I don't know if you can see the gold leafing at the top. That will also be updated as one of the options. The second scope is to remove the existing carpet and the flooring in every area of the building except for the main lobby. So the beautiful flooring that we have today in the lobby will remain. Okay. The background here shows, this slide shows a few details for the scope. The contractor will be responsible for scheduling as well as furniture handling. I will do my best Autumn Gowan impression for the procurement. So on July 3rd, the Rail Commission released a proposal or released an RFP via Planet Bids. On August 28th, we received 6 proposals. The Procurement and Contracts Department deemed 3 of the 6 proposals responsive. The responsive written proposals, and the samples, we received samples for the flooring as well as color samples. Those were reviewed by the Rail Commission staff, and the 3 firms were invited for the interviews. After combining the scores and the written proposals, we deemed that Valley Construction Services, Inc. is the most responsive and responsible proposer. Okay, the project manager, as well as the team reviewing the proposals, found that their scope was fair, reasonable, and in line. The agreement will be effective upon execution by both parties, and the amount is a little over 1.38 million. The base contract is for 1 year, and there are no options to renew. This project is in line with our work program for 25-26. and the budget for this project is $2 million. The contract amount is a little over 1.3 million, leaving a remaining budget for this project of $618,000. And staff recommends that you approve this project, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Questions for commission members? Ms. Smith, the only question I've got is that remaining 618,000, do we have additional scope of work plan for the future for the renovation work, or is that, you know, just $618,000 if this bid came under?
The bid came under.
Oh, we like. your
Yes.
bid. There's also speaky change orders, so.
Yes.
All right, I appreciate that. Any comments or questions from anyone in the audience? And no one online?
Seeing none online,
Okay, I'll accept a motion to approve item 5 for the Valley Construction Services Agreement.
So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded. All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Any abstaining? Hearing none. The motion passes. Okay, moving on to item 6.
Good morning, Chair Craig Hensley and Commissioners. Let's move to the background. So capital programs have made some great strides in the last 6 to 8 months to establish both the structure and the organization needed to develop and deliver our major capital programs. And we've historically had in capital programs a small rail commission staff, but we augment that staff with professional engineers. Engineers who specifically have experience in stations, bridges, complex track and construction sequencing, along with some roadway experience too. So in 2024, the Rail Commission entered into a contract with Ghirardelli Associates to provide these services. And since then, the contract's been amended twice. Amendment 3 will continue the current services through May of 2026. This will give us time to prepare a competitive bid package and procure a new engineering contract. So the key services of the current contract and Amendment 3 are program controls related to schedule and risk management, coordination of utilities and design, project change process, and engineering advice. And I'd like to add that the expectations for this contract and this professional services are high, both for performance and technical engineering capabilities. Ghirardelli is meeting all of those current, all of the contract expectations. A few items on the procurement approach. The amendment was handled in accordance with the Rail Commission's procurement manual. The new not to exceed amount will be $4,931,667. And the contract will be extended through May 31st of 2026. The staff have reviewed and confirmed that this price is fair and reasonable. And the amendment is included in the current fiscal year capital budget and the fiscal year operating budget under the professional services line. Oh, there you go. Thank you. So staff recommends approval of Amendment 3 to the contract with Ghirardelli for the amount of $2,593,000, extending it to May 31st of 2026, and to authorize the interim executive director to execute all related documents. So, thank you, and happy to take any questions.
Any questions from the commission? Seeing none, any comment or questions from the audience? Or anyone online?
seeing none online,
Seeing none, I'm at the point where I would just ask for a motion, please.
Motion for approval.
Motion for approval in second.
Second.
Motion approved and seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstained? And so it passes. Are you timing this?
We
We understand that
No rush. Okay, please, no rush.
we have a busy morning, so we are trying to be efficient.
All right, it's Friday. We'll have a little fun. We'll take our time, but really, I have the opportunity today to be able to present how ACE has been performing for the first quarter of this fiscal year. So that's July 1 through the end of September. And so we've got a little fun in the slide here with our, ex-State Executive Director, Stacey Mortensen. And then really good news to share is that, in this first quarter, we've seen ridership hit around 250,000. And then revenue also going up year over year, and we're about 1.9 million for that first quarter. And then I also wanted you to be able to kind of see a breakdown of quarter by quarter, year over year. And so what you can see is that we are continuing to see some progressive increases in ridership. The top line that you see there in the purple, that is kind of that pre-COVID, that's our internal kind of reminder and goal of where we were and what we're really aiming for. And then the blue line just below, that's our forecast. So we are performing above forecast right now as far as ridership goes. And then similarly, you will see for the revenue side of things, it's kind of the same story where we're seeing that year over year growth. It's trailing, a little bit behind ridership, but we are, happy where we're moving at this point in time. And then one of the other things that we've been trying to, kind of just really pay attention to is just the markets that we're serving. How are they performing, especially comparative to a prior year? And so what we see are the boardings in San Joaquin County, you see the Tri-Valley, and then, as expected, fewer boardings in that Fremont and South Bay area. And then, just to kind of understand, well, where are they going? We see kind of that traffic flow of course, we don't have people really using the service in San Joaquin County, just to San Joaquin County. We're seeing some offs happening in the Tri-Valley, and then we're also seeing this happen mostly in the South Bay. So right now, a lot of our efforts, we are starting to focus a lot more on some of our employer relationships, especially in the Tri-Valley and South Bay, to really understand what those opportunities are to reach those employees that are looking for alternative transportation options, because of course, the freeways, they continue to stay busy, and we want to make sure that they understand that we're here to support them. And then one other slide that I wanted to share, we're in the season of special trains right now, and we're seeing some really strong performance. Last year, around this time, we were about just over 1,000 riders, and right now we're almost at 1,500 comparatively. So right now we've got a really good, momentum that we've been able to establish. And of course, we've got the Super Bowl coming up. So I'm anticipating that we'll see, continued boost in ridership from all the activity that's happening there. And then I am going to hand it over to Lee.
Before we get into the numbers or the metrics for on-time performance, just a quick reminder of how we actually define on-time performance for the ACE service. We use the industry standard, which is set by the American Public Transportation Association, or APTA, and that defines endpoint on-time performance for a commuter train as any train that arrives at its final destination within 5 minutes and 59 seconds of its final destination. Anything 6 minutes and over would be considered late. And then for our goal for on-time performance for ACE is set at 90%. So how are we doing the first quarter? We started out July 89% for the service, and even though that was slightly under goal, it was actually a big boost in what we saw compared to June. For June, we were at 77% on-time performance, and the main reason for that was that the Capital Corridor had an adjustment in their schedule in the month of June, which created some different meets for our trains and our shared territory for both services. Union Pacific was confident that they would be able to adjust and get our service back to where we're used to being. And you can see in July that did pick back up to 89%, and then that continued to improve in both August and September, coming in at 93 and 92%. To give you a little more background on the numbers, typically we see worse performance in the westbound direction for the ACE service. Eastbound, we have less conflicts. In the morning, we have a couple of freight trains that we regularly have to meet in the westbound direction. That is greatly improved in the first quarter, as the westbound direction was pretty much on par with our trains coming in the eastbound direction. So that's very good to see. Taking a look at the numbers by train, our best and worst performers, A6 was our worst performer for the quarter, and that was mainly due to the reasons I mentioned with the capital quarter schedule chain. That train was affected the most by those different meets, but that is continuing to improve, and we should see some better numbers in this next quarter. ACE2 continues to be our top performer since its introduction about this time last year, coming in at 98%. So that's great to see that train continuing to improve in ridership and on-time performance. And then taking a look at how we compare to this time last year, we had a 2% increase over Q1 of FY 24-25 and a 4% increase over where we were at the last quarter. So good to see that ACE is performing very well and continue to work with our partners to provide reliable service. Happy to take any questions.
Question. Have some questions. So I think it is interesting, the on-time performance, and again, because I really value having that indicator pre-COVID. Do we have some sense on on-time performance relative to a similar indicator? You know, I think we're doing really well, but I'm just wondering what our real true benchmark is. Is it always going to be 90% is our benchmark? We're trying to get to something higher than that. What's the
I'm definitely always striving to get higher than 90%. I talk regularly with Union Pacific about any conflicts that we're having and struggles that we're having. So I can say that they're definitely working with us to try and improve that. They do have some scheduled freight trains that they're not willing to move. So that's going to be a continued struggle. But there is a change coming up in the Gold Runner service. When that new schedule changes, we should see some even more improved service coming in the mornings.
on the ACE2, and so both of you, but maybe Mr. Cook, you can address this issue. We don't really have a metric to compare it with because we started that new service. What is our ridership like? I mean, obviously, on-time performance is great, but what is the ridership looking like? And I assume increasing on a regular basis. Can you give me any sense?
Sure, absolutely. So we've seen just increased improvement for ACE2 since it was introduced last year. So next month, I'll be doing a little bit of an overview specifically for that train. And, you know, what we're seeing right now is that a lot of that ridership that we've been having, you see the bulk of it happening on ACE2, ACE4, and then kind of a little bit of a drop off. So people are enjoying the fact that they can get home a little bit earlier. And so, you know, I'll go a little bit more in depth at our next session.
Okay, good, because we were hoping that would be the case when we made that decision.
Yes.
Just another question on the ridership. So when we look at, because I'm still waiting for us to hit that pre-COVID level again, but obviously things have changed with remote working and like, where are we weakest studying when it comes to really making those comparisons of we're most off on ridership versus the pre-COVID? What are you seeing? What are the trends there? Is it really just more remote working and people not taking the train to the Bay Area, or what are you seeing?
It's a mixture. So, you know, in the Tri-Valley, I would say that we definitely have more opportunity to be able to grow there. I don't think the market there has ever been as strong as, you know, the South Bay, but it's somewhere that we need to pay some attention to. And then for the South Bay, what we're finding even is that, you know, a lot of employers left. And then we have employers that are shifting around as well. So Amazon, for example, they now have a new campus in Santa Clara by the Great America Station that is very close by. And so now employees, they were shifted just almost overnight. And their mission right now is not to introduce more of their own personal employee shuttles, but really to try to push their employees to use public transit. And so we're developing more of those kinds of partnerships to really make sure that there is a clear message from both sides. And so I think we're going to continue to see some improvement there. And then lastly, you know, being able to just do more in San Jose as well. I think that's another one where, you know, we had some, you know, kind of construction, some development that was happening near the station that was planned. You know, Google was supposed to have a campus right by the station. That didn't happen. So I think that once we kind of just see as the employers kind of settle in more and see these shifts that are happening, we'll continue to get closer and closer to that goal.
I think it would be interesting to see in terms of various station stops, particularly for those of us representing certain cities, where we are seeing increases in ridership, and obviously that's about our entire program
Yeah.
expansion, where we want to spend our resources where there's the greatest opportunity for increased ridership, but it would be interesting to see where it's flatlined or where it's steadily increasing. I think we all have a sense of that, but maybe in the quarterly reporters or
Sure.
a half-year report,
Mhm.
along with the quarterly performance updates, just be valuable to see where that, because again, it comes down to marketing, reaching out to employers. You guys have been doing a great job. Very much appreciate seeing continuing increase.
Thank you.
Thank you. This is informational. If there's anybody in the audience that has any questions? No? No.
Seeing that online.
Thank you, Jen.
Oh, thank you.
Appreciate it. Moving on to board member comments. Are there any members of the board that have any comments to make? Like share. No one? No one? David, I want to talk to you after me. Ex officio comments. We have Mayor Wallen online, which.
Yes, I just briefly, I just wanted to report that Stan Cog, that I'm on the executive board of, has hired an interim executive director. And that person is Kate Miller. She is formerly an executive director of Napa Valley Transportation Authority. And she will be helping us until we are able to hire a permanent replacement. And we're excited to have her and welcome her. And that's our report for today.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Do we have anybody, did they join online from COG?
No.
Okay, Mr. Baxter, you're up.
Good morning. I'll make this very quick. I just want to commend and say a big thank you to the board and to staff, and of course to David for hosting a wonderful celebration event for Stacy back on October 27th. And it was just wonderful, great turnout, as we all know. And it was very exciting. I'm so happy for Stacy. And I just want to add too, it was nice to see a lot of, I don't want to say old friends and colleagues, but it's been a long time since I've seen them. Even from Merced, Councils of Government, I used to serve on that over the years in my previous career. So it was just an overall great event, and to see all of you there. So thank you to the entire team at the Rail Commission. Have a great weekend. Thank you all.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Mr. Baxter. And anyone from Conference?
No.
Okay, next week. Apparently busy early for these guys, so we will move on to welcome. David, it is now your opportunity to give your first term executive directors.
I do have just one item for you. Earlier this week on Monday, the San Joaquins did accomplish its rebranding of its service to Gold Runner. So we're all sort of like pulling together as a staff to figure out a way to sort of like demerit people who say the wrong name. So we're gonna work on saying it the right way.
We'll take a little fine.
That's right, exactly. And we've put a few Gold Runner pins like for the commissioners who are here to sort of commemorate that. We also have a much larger commemoration event on November 14th at the RMF. Like an invitation's been sent to each of you to come join us as we celebrate sort of this really like important milestone for the service. SJRRC, like owning this brand is really important to their board and by extension, really important to this board and staff. So that was what I wanted to share with you, and that's the end of my report.
Okay, thank you. You're setting a really good pace here. Going to become your gold standard.
Mr. Zuber is really training you very well.
Okay, with that, the next special meeting is scheduled for November 7th at 10 a.m. and we actually have time before that meeting, so that's a good thing. We will be meeting over at the RMF for that meeting, and then our next regular meeting is scheduled for December 5th at 9:30 a.m. So with that, during this week.